My mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, and I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Nunas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
I'm Jessie.
I'm Natalia.
And I'm Sky.
And today, it's another episode of The Genre Jar! Woo! So if you're unfamiliar with what the genre jar is, we have chosen a random genre out of a jar. Well, we choose 4 out of a jar, and then we put the poll up on Twitter to see what people want to listen to. And then each of us pick our favorite drama from that genre. And this week, it is sci-fi and fantasy dramas. Now, I realize that we already did our favorite supernatural dramas on a genre jar episode, and there is overlap between these two. But we're going to try to pick different shows than what we picked in that one. So, we're going to, bring in new stuff for you.
And as far as there is a difference.
Yeah.
Supernatural, you're usually going to be talking specifically about beings a little bit. Like ghosts, mythological type. It feels more lore heavy. Possibly based in cultural things a little bit sometimes. Though, I mean, I think a good example of something that probably straddles both, and you wouldn't be able to put it, well, I mean, Arthdal Chronicles, I think, would be a good example of there's enough supernatural in that, in my opinion, that you could argue that it's a supernatural.
But it's definitely a fantasy.
But it's definitely heavily fantasy.
Yeah.
So.
I guess it's a little bit harder on dramas, too, just because I feel like sci-fi dramas aren't as common, so they kind of just get tied in. And, like, sci-fi, fantasy, and supernatural just generally, like, they have a lot of play with each other. So, like, a lot of times you'll have a supernatural show that has a fantasy element to it, or like a fantasy sci-fi show, or like, the kind of a combination of everything. So that's, I think that's the biggest thing, is that like usually shows aren't just straightforward the one category. They like take over that other, and then we get to this where we have to like talk about like a specific thing, and we're like, oh no.
What have we done?
It's definitely good to like, oh, what did we do? And we did talk about Supernatural recently. So if you're curious what we did have to say about that, go check out our episode on it. We will try to talk about other things today.
But before we get into our recommendations, we wanted to have a little bit of fun. We like to have a little bit of fun here on the podcast, as longtime listeners will know. And one of the things that we do more than one time is we've done it quite a few times. We make up a fake show, and we cast our fake show, and then we make everyone sad because the show doesn't exist. And it should.
Yeah. We're really good at making fake shows that will never exist.
So, prepare to be bummed out, impressed at first, but then bummed out that it doesn't exist.
Yeah, it'll be a roller coaster of a ride.
You're
we'll
gonna
have all the emotions.
Yeah, a roller coaster of emotions is what's about to happen. Good times. So, today we have like the fantasy sci-fi. And what is the perfect genre that encapsulates both fantasy and sci-fi at once? That would be the space opera. If you're
all those drama space operas out there that we've watched.
Yeah,
there's so many. There's exactly zero.
There's exactly none. And I feel like they're really missing out on like a good opportunity here.
I think so too, especially because you can add like lots of characters to those things, and hello, you have idol actors. You can have a bunch of idol actors all in one. Yeah.
All in like wild alien gear, so you can't even tell who they are. Come on.
I mean, like already look at their like costumes for their stages. It's like perfect. Yeah. It's already supposed to be.
Just take Monster X and put them into a drama. You don't have to change their clothes whatsoever.
Yeah, you don't have to change their clothing or personalities. Just let them be themselves. But like in like a Korean like Jupiter Rising or something. You know what I
Yeah, where are we going with it?
So, if anyone is unfamiliar about what a space opera is, first off, sad. No.
You are missing out.
You're missing out. So space operas are basically fantasy movies or fantasy stories set in space. Like Star Wars is, I think, the most famous space opera of all time. And you're saying, that's just sci-fi. No, they have magical force powers. That's clearly a fantasy. The other one, which I just mentioned, was Jupiter Rising, which is a criminally undervalued film that just... Is it stupid? Yes. Does that matter when you're watching it? 100% no.
No, I think that's like also like the big thing. Like you have to, it has to be just like enjoyable. It doesn't have to be a work of art. It's a work of art because of what it is.
It's supposed to be fun and make you enjoy it. And I think there's like a lot of, these days anyway, there's not a lot of respect for like shows and things that are just supposed to be fun. Everything takes itself so seriously, but the space opera says no. No. We want to just have a good time.
The cool thing about space operas, though, and part of the reason why I also like sci-fi, is they will cover, they'll cover some deep topics with very thinly veiled, we're going to talk about, racism, but we're going to, through aliens, like something, that was very typical on, Star Trek or something. It was so obvious what they would be discussing.
Yeah.
But since it had aliens, we're not really talking, but we are.
We're not talking about aliens. It's like how X-Men wasn't about X-Men, it wasn't about superpower mutants.
Yeah.
Right. But as far as X-Men, you enjoy it at face value, despite the fact that they are, they're making points. Points are being made.
A lot of people miss the points being made, and then you shake your head because you're like, they were not being subtle about the points being made. How did you miss them?
Whenever they remake something, when they've got the new Star Trek stuff come out, and then people are angry because it's so political. Why are you making it political? And you're like, did you watch the 60s version? Because hi, it was invented political. It's always been sigh.
So, but as far as Star Trek as an example, I love Star Trek original series, but the reason I love it is just because I love the ride of it. It's not necessarily because of what they were saying, though I enjoy that aspect too.
Yeah.
So same thing with space operas quite often. I mean, I'm sure there are very serious-minded fans of space opera. So I mean, that's probably a thing. We're just saying we often come at it as the enjoyable side.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and I think what we should be right now.
Time.
Yeah, usually for me, one of the signs of a really good space opera is that you could watch it as a kid and you're just blown away, right? You just love it. It's great. It's everything. You go back to revisit it 20 years later and you're like, oh, there was a story there. They were telling me something and now I can see this, what was going on beyond the explosions and the whatever else, right?
Yeah.
I like that aspect.
I mean, all fandoms have the shared love of things, but I think with space operas, there's more opportunities for a big group to come together to rewatch and share their love of it and share their shared feelings of it when they were younger and still have the same feelings and be able to watch it when they're older. But there's a very big community of watchers and just physically you tend to watch those movies with other people.
And it's very intergenerational. It crosses a lot of those boundaries between people that are sometimes set up when it comes to entertainment. Space, not that everybody likes space opera, but the people that do enjoy it, it's a large cross section of a lot of people, a lot of diverse people enjoy it. So for the one we're making,
yes, I think See, now we've like talked ourselves up with how good of a show that we come up with, that we have to come up with something.
We can cut that part out.
We've set ourselves up for failure here.
So here's my vote. I vote for female lead.
I want a female lead too.
Yes,
for sure.
Yes.
And a true female lead, like she's the one talking most of the time.
Yeah.
You know, she's in charge of like the story progressing. I kind of want. I don't know why, but I just think IU would be really great.
She would.
She would. She's an incredible actress.
She's such a good actress.
Yeah, I kind of also would like someone that like would be older too, like an older female actress. But I'm trying to think of who. Oh no, it should be Kim Sol-gi.
Oh, yeah,
like,
we gotta give her some love.
Yeah, no,
what's wrong with her?
IU. IU can be a minor character.
IU could be like
some like goddess queen or something.
Yeah, or like a space captain with magical powers or something.
And IU's definitely the like person that comes in like the cameo, like the famous cameo part.
No, I got it. I use the villain.
Ooh.
Yeah.
See, now I'm onto something here. Like some sort of like really like over the top, like big dramatic, like snake hair, some bullshit like that. You know.
Okay, hear me out.
Okay.
Crazy. Well, what if it's literally a female cast? Let's not even think about males.
Only women?
The only males in this role, like this world, would be extras that don't have any speaking lines. Or like one line.
I think we need like one himbo though. Like you gotta have that.
You have to have a role for Sung-hoon. He's in everything we make.
But no, that would be the beauty. He'd be just sleeping in the background. Like that's the thing. Like those in the background sleeping, and it's like he's
the only men are like the sad little minions who are like bowing and like walking off screen.
No, it could be like it could have like Mingu's energy where he all of a sudden Sung-hoon would pop up and he's like had been sleeping behind something, and like after this big like story happened and he's like what's going on?
Nothing, baby. Go back to sleep.
It's okay, buddy. It's okay.
There has to be. I feel like IU has a guy on a like in the Princess Leia, like on a chain, like minion and like a little gold bikini or something.
Like, you gotta,
But he can be a silent himbo is the point.
Yeah, I'm not saying the himbo has to talk. I'm just saying the himbo is there,
What if, just because I think they would be, like, just great to, like, watch together, what if it's someone like Jo Kwon?
Oh, I love him. I love him so much. I've literally been watching Animal too much. That was one of my favorite performances. But, like... Yes.
I think his energy with IU would just like they'd have a lot of banter and it'd be a lot of fun. Like so like those could be like the funny moments, then they're heightened and they're the also like super glamorous.
Like he could be like the comedic villain foil to her like evil villain. Bring a little levity to like her genocidal plots. Oh God, I love it.
So what is Kim Sol-gi doing since she's...
I feel like she strikes me as a space pirate. Like she's got a Captain Mao Firefly kind of
energy. Totally like in my head that's what I was thinking with her. Like she's got this like grounded like but also like quippy character.
And then like there has to, since it's a space opera, not like a sci-fi like Firefly. I feel like she has to be part of like a prophecy or some bullshit because that's how these things work.
And like also she's the character who's like most human because you know how there's like the one character that's most like you and I in the like story. I think that she could be that like even in this world she's like one of us, and she doesn't have as
sort
crazy.
Sort of like how in like Titan AE, how it's like, am I the only one who likes Titan AE? Anyway, that's like one of my favorite movies. And it's so bad. Where it's like Matt Damon's character is like the only human because in the first 5 minutes Earth gets blown up. So there's only like a couple thousand humans in the entire universe. And that character. Yeah. It's animated, by the way, if you've never heard of Titan AE. It's a really silly animated sci-fi movie.
But it's fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. It is a fun movie. Like now I'm just like, ooh, I really want to. I sometimes like my brain will just suddenly remember like these movies that I like, and then I'll be like, oh, I really want to watch that. Yesterday I was in the shower and I was like listening to G Idol's Oh My God, which is like my song of the month. What a bop. And then all of a sudden my brain was like, you know what you want to do? You want to go watch Constantine. And I was like,
you're like,
do I? Do I want to watch Constantine? Like, well, who am I to argue with shower thoughts?
So we need like a best friend character for Kim Sulgi's character, or like a second in command type thing.
I'd kind of like to put like Liel in, but or oh shoot, I can see her face, but I can't think of her name.
Bayduna?
Oh well,
Bayduna.
I
feel like she would be like I don't know, like she'd have some sort of like the mentor role, because there's a good mentor role
always. Yeah. Leah Elijah would be fun.
Oh yeah, she's always fun.
She would be fun.
Always.
I could actually kind of see her and Kim Sulgi working really well off of each other.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why. There's like, I can't give you like an actual definitive why, but I just feel like they should be best friends.
Yeah. And I feel like the combination of that and IU as a villain, you've got just a perfect movie brewing right here.
Yeah. No. It's pretty good right now.
Yeah, like we don't even have a plot yet, and we're just like, okay,
give it to me.
I mean, I'll just watch them on screen.
Like she's a space captain who's part of a mysterious prophecy of some sort, okay, which means she probably has some magic power that she doesn't know that she has, and IU needs to kill her for reasons.
Like she has like an emblem that like helps do something, and it's like on the necklace that her mother gave her right before she died.
Like, you go like Waterworld style, where she has like a tattoo that she got at birth that's actually like a map to like some treasure of some sort.
It kind of would be really cool. This is not like a spoiler on the King, but you know how like the lightning strikes happen? Like something like that.
Yeah.
Where like you don't see it, but it like there's some like point that like something affects her, and then like you can see it like emerges, and it could be a tattoo too. It could be like a tattoo that she's you never saw, but like maybe it's a prophecy that she has to turn a certain age or get to a certain spot, and that's a different like world, and that's when it's revealed.
It's one of those like living tattoos that like move.
Yeah. And it changes because like something happens, like IU's character does something, and it like changes the like path because it's changed the like
fate of stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh. So like, what is she trying to find? What's the MacGuffin? What's the MacGuffin, guys? Doesn't matter. It's a MacGuffin. Why am I even asking?
Usually it's like saving all of
the universe.
I would say humanity, but like it'd have to be the universe.
It's
so, like,
usually that, or it's like done in a way that like they just stumble upon it. Like they're like, oh, we're have a ship, then we have to transport these goods, and then chaos breaks loose, and we're the only ones who can save the world now.
Like,
or planet.
Okay. So I just my brain just went when you said like they pick up cargo, they're cargos. But the cargo is, like, alive, okay? the cargo has to be like some sort of like creature or something, and they don't know it. That's like, that's the harbinger of demise. So they're working for IU, but then like whoever is the cargo or whatever, then like they change sides and they, have to protect it, right? Because it's going to be the end of the world. That's a classic plot.
Is there going to be like a governmental side too that Kim Sul-gi would kind of be up against as well? Like there's the organized bad guy. You have the villain, which is like big time. But then you also on the other side have the people that are like kind of the constant bother, but they're not the main bad people. They're just kind of the all-time bad people. Like to where whenever they do go somewhere to try to get rid of cargo or do something, they also have to worry about just the random governmental type people coming after them. Well, because, of course.
What if it's the government that actually like is the one to commission whatever this trip is with the cargo, but they don't tell that, like, that's their angle. They want to just get some random person to bring over the cargo so it's not known that it's there. And then IU's character figures out through things that it's there. And that's when, like, things change. Maybe there's, like, a person, like maybe Kim Sul-gi's character isn't the one to pilot or something, so then they just, like, rent a pilot, and then it turns out that it's someone that IU's camp, or, like, they stop somewhere and IU happens to be there. It could be like a happenstance. But also, I think like it would be really funny to like bring in a lot of K-drama tropes into this. Like, so they have to be best friends when they were little.
Okay. I got it. Okay, so we're saying like that Kim Sul-gi is like a pirate, space pirate captain.
Yeah, I like the pirate.
Okay, so then the government is transporting whatever it is, okay? The MacGuffin. Is it alive? Is it dead? Is it a bomb? We don't know. It doesn't matter. It's just the MacGuffin. And IU is traveling to steal it because she needs it for her nefarious plans. But Kim Sul-gi steals it before she can, not realizing that it's, this situation. And then so now both the government and IU are after her.
Ah,
okay.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's easy also to sprinkle K-pop idols within the government type roles because you just have them in a uniform.
Or they dock somewhere and then like, the person checking them in is an idol, or like they go to the bar and the bartender's an idol, and like there are ways. And there's also going to be another idol on the ship or whatever. Like, there's got to be our idol actor with Kim Sul-gi for most of the movie.
Yeah.
And somebody on that ship, somebody on her crew is going to double cross her at some point.
Oh, for sure.
They're working for the government, or they're working for IU. Probably they're working for the government undercover, and they're on her ship. But in the end, they're going to switch sides because either love because
like a triple,
they need to make the right choice. Right?
Yeah. Triple cross. Like, so IU has someone embedded in the original ship who's like pretending to work for the government, but is really a secret agent of IU. And then is the one who's like, oh shit, this person stole from us. So then they have to go like undercover to try to get the cargo back on Kim Sul-gi's ship, but then ends up like changing, wanting to do the right thing.
Okay, here's how they change, because then we add another third person who's fated to like meet up again. So all three of those characters knew each other when they were younger. So like this one character that's gonna double cross was like more friends with IU's character, and like then IU took them over, or like they all knew each other, and so the reason why that person goes to Kim Sul-gi's side is the moment that she realizes that Kim Sul-gi was the person that she knew.
Oh.
So maybe like IU's character was the bully in the thing, and like Kim Sul-gi's character was the one who was always nice to her, but like since IU was the bully, she was able to like take control over like someone to make them do stuff.
See, if we like briefly entertain the concept, like maybe getting a single, like it could be a female too. Like, listen, I'm not against lesbians in space. I'm actually pro lesbians in space. So it doesn't actually matter the gender of this person. Where if you want to make it like real K-drama tropey, you gotta have that love triangle. So it's like back when they were kids.
It can happen in that, though.
Yeah, like so it was like IU and Seulgi were both. Well, Seulgi was in love with this party.
Does it have to be love? Because it could be very search WW of them.
It could. Yeah. But I find that there's usually like some sort of love plot line in a space opera to like get the romantics to come with like the sci-fi fans, get them both.
What if that character, I kind of feel like I really want the second male lead character to be the female, like, and so have that like kind of lesbian-esque thing.
Lesbians in space. Lesbians in space.
But like, almost position it like Wonpil's character in the School trilogy.
Oh yes.
He's in love with Sungjin, but it's watching Sungjin fall in love with the girl.
Yes. Okay.
I could entertain a male character who is literally the best friend and is never romantic.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I would
entertain
that. I would like to elect a certain idol who is not much of an idol actor, but I feel like would possibly bring some delightful alienness to the role.
Their time to shine.
And I'm gonna go with this fellow on my shirt. That would be. We're currently wearing a Taemin shirt. I feel like Taemin in space.
Okay.
And then the Taemin Jo Kwon like battle scene at some point. The dance off battle.
Okay. Hyungwon too. That was a very good setup for
alien.
And he's not acting. Oh. But Taemin.
Oh. Taemin in a space opera. It's like it was meant to be. He's already a space cadet.
It's us. We're doing it. What if Hyungwon's another character and it's Taemin and Hyungwon together? That's the character.
Yes. Listen, you're just giving me what I want here. Like, the real winner of this story is old Natalia.
Did you make it that like Taemin's
to
character?
To be clear,
what?
It's Natalia's birthday today during recording, so
this is your gift.
My gift is it's a Taemin Hyungwon love line in our fictional story.
Natalia, gaze in space.
And we didn't even start with that. It naturally evolved into that.
It like always sort of like if I'm involved in the chat, it always sort of naturally.
But you're not the one. You're not the one that started that. Jessie brought it to the table.
Okay, I did say lesbians in space, which I'm also big fan of.
No, I think
and then Jessie was like, I am going to give you a gift.
That gift, but I want the like full like love story to be on Kim Seulgi's character. Mm-hmm. And who do we need
this third person. We have not cast this third person.
Yeah.
So you didn't settle on Lee Elijah?
No, that's her that's like her current co-captain. They're just buds. Okay.
He's like part of the like crew that like she actually
is. That's like the family. She's part of
the found family. We got it. Yeah.
But now we need like Ooh.
Okay. Let's think about this.
Who would be good that's like sort of looks like they're around that age as well?
How old is Kim Seulgi?
She's not that old.
I'm trying to think of some of the actresses that are currently like pretty big right now.
We could.
How old is Kim Seulgi?
Okay, she's
28.
Adorable looking.
Who?
Park Bo Young.
Yeah, we could have her, or I feel like I'm thinking of someone and I just don't know.
What's the name of the actress who's JM's sister? I always just call her Veronica Park, but that's Not her name.
Well, let me look up.
Oh.
What was the beginning of that title, Dagnabbit?
My
Secretary.
Secret Life of My Secretary.
Something secretary.
Yeah,
yeah. So the reason I can't ever remember her name is because it's so close to his name.
Yeah.
Kim Jae Kyung.
Yeah. I feel like
K-Y-U-N-G.
she would have a good time.
She might have a good time. But I feel like, I don't know. I feel like maybe they're like too close.
Yeah. I feel
There's
like
no
she'd be
opposite.
like a good pirate of another ship or something, like that they're kind of like frenemies or something.
Okay. They're estranged sisters because they both have like that same energy.
They do kind of look alike.
Yeah, but maybe like she's like the straight-laced one who actually like works in government.
As I was saying, I see her in the government side.
Yes, and then
like
she's
very
constantly
charismatic.
Yeah, so she always has like that sort of like every time she realizes it's her sister causing nonsense, there's the do I admit that she's my sister or do I protect my family?
What about the girl from Just Between Lovers?
Ooh, I like her.
Yeah.
Let me
What's her
get her name. Wanjina.
Yeah, I like her. She's very
They're
pretty.
like literally the same age.
Perfect.
I really like her as an actress too.
Very talented.
And I feel like she kind of almost has the like Kim Sol-gi's personality, but the quieter version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I could see the two of them as a couple on a show. But also I could see her, but IU could just seduce everyone. I feel like IU needs like a real like just to, she continues her role from Hotel Del Luna, but like in space now.
Yeah.
Now we in space.
Maybe that's like how we get a bunch of idols in. It's just like she rotates.
Listen, she's just a lovely pansexual.
You know what? Whatever.
She like has lovers
She's
of
just having
all
fun.
races and genders.
You gotta always have that like Jim Kirk type Riker.
Yeah.
We'll just have everything.
She's a proud space hoe who's also evil. What's wrong with that? Like
Nothing is wrong with that. Be who you want to be, as long as it's not hurting anyone.
Exactly. Pro space hoes.
I mean, but like she is the evil character, so she can hurt someone. But like she's not bad because she has multiple relationships.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with it. That's just another aspect.
If she kills those multiple relationships, that's when it's the evil part. Well, we have like some other like found family in the ship, don't we?
Yeah. So
obviously.
Yep. You have to have some more. I mean, you don't have to, but you can go alien heavy and just have a variety of races, different types of alien. You can also have some. You have to have at least one really good android that's pretty much.
Yeah, you need the character that's kind of like the maintenance person who's like really good at fixing things and like comes through like a MacGyver of the group.
Actually, that would be the perfect role for Sung Hoon and make it kind of a himbo. But it's like so everyone thinks he's really stupid. But then he suddenly is like, well, we gotta attach the bit about it to thingamabob and blah, blah, blah.
It's just because he keeps on getting work. Like, he has to, like, he's the sole person, so he's running around. So he sleeps whenever he can as, like, a...
They can never find him because he's always asleep behind some equipment thing. Like...
No, and I feel like the perfect foil would be, like, he doesn't talk that much, so everyone thinks he's just sort of, like, dumb and stupid, but then right at like the pivotal moment, all of a sudden he like spits out like the most intelligent like blah, 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 like we gotta do and then we're
he's
like
the one that like can figure out or be like, yeah, I can do that, and then they're like, oh, okay, cool.
Secretly the brains of the operation.
Well,
not the brains, but like
brains.
He has brains. He secretly has brains.
The one specific operation that the plot of the movie hinges on. The one like what's the word I'm looking at? Like, when there's like one stupid little like mechanical thing that like the success of the mission hinges on. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I'm gonna actually name another movie which just came to my mind, and it's just why. Do you remember the movie had Tim Allen in it? And it was like, it had Alan Rickman in it. What was that movie? It was like
Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest.
Where they need like the nerd character to like get them through like Justin Long's character, like to you know that character, like where he's sort of a buffoon for like the whole movie, but then it's just like, oh wait, he's the only one with the skills to make this all work. Sung-hoon!
Where he's like on the comm, like telling Kim Sul-gi like how to defuse the bomb or whatever, right? Like,
yeah, but she's the one to do it.
Yellow wire, and she's like, but nothing's yellow, and yeah.
We should figure out our major PPE or PPF.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. See, the thing about space opera is you can't really have much PPE.
Okay.
Well,
no,
you definitely need the thing. Okay, it was in The King. It's that face cosmetic light thing.
Totally. That. Also, I feel this could be a really great time to get like a tool brand, and I don't know like what tools brands are in Korean, but like I mean like a Makita or a Bosch sponsorship.
Yeah.
Maybe like a Kia sponsorship, because that's like the brand of the ship or something, you know, like
because you could totally do that where like in the future, like these different car companies have evolved into spaceships and stuff.
Yeah, it's like how in Space 2001 where Bell Alliant is like the video call that they're making. Does anyone else remember this? They had like a Bell sponsorship or whatever Bell used to be called.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could totally you could slide that Samsung sponsorship in there somehow with like, you know, they have like the clear phone or the, you know, the super fancy whatevers.
Okay.
That Samsung doesn't actually have, but it would have the Samsung name on it.
We can have a bar that they go to regularly, because I really like those kind of tropes where it's like there's the favorite bar. Yeah. And at that bar, they sell IU's soju.
Just like make it so subtle that you don't even realize it's PPE until somebody points it out.
Does Sung-hoon have a soju? He might have a Sung. Oh. I want it all to be like from the people.
All the people who are in it.
Yes. So I actually want to ask a question. Like,
I just want to point out that I just searched Sung-hoon Soju sponsorship, and the first thing that came up was IU returns as Soju brand Jansol's endorsement model. Here, Google. Sorry, Sky. Go.
Does it sometimes work like that to where on a drama, because I've kind of noticed. I've noticed it with Inwoo specifically. He'll be on a drama, so then like his sponsorship kind of follows him, and then they will put it on the show.
It might. I think it's possible if you're like a bigger star. Like I feel like, you know, there's some like idols who have sponsorships that are kind of like
I've kind of, because I'll know that they're like the model for that brand, and then all of a sudden they'll be on a show, and then boom, that same brand. So I always wonder if it's because of that.
I think some of the cosmetic stuff that Minyoung always has, she's sponsored.
Yeah, that. I've noticed that. Mm-hmm. So like I've always just kind of seen how it follows them around to their dramas. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, it would make sense if you were already paying them to be your spokesperson, to be like, I'll pay a little bit more, and I don't actually have to make any commercials. Like, it'll just be on TV for the next like couple of months. Like, that just works.
It reminded me of a great like thing that we maybe should try to get into this, because IU is best friends with what's her face from Goblin and the
Kim Go-eun?
No, Yuna?
Yeah.
Yuna,
right?
Yuna.
Yeah. Yuna. That's it.
They're like best friends, and I kind of want an interaction with them.
It could be like runs the bar. I feel like she could have a really good like high quality bar boss vibe going on, you know.
True.
just because I like this type of thing. So you do have the like common neighborhood bar type trope, but you also have like sometimes you have kind of like the fancier bar across the street, but it also has like a gambling den in the back, and there's like
it's where all like the like crime stuff happens.
Yeah, she's like the crime boss that runs the fancy thing across the street.
Yeah, she's kind of almost like a version of the other girl from Just Between Lovers, the one who like is the surrogate older sister. You know who I'm talking about? Who owns
who runs the like hostess bar or whatever. Yeah.
Like that type of, because you have the neighborhood bar where, they can relax, but then there's a lot of stuff that happens across the street, not this other place.
Yeah.
The place across the street is where you make your contacts for work.
Yes.
But like the other one's the place where you just go and hang out. Yeah, because that would work. Because then I picture those interactions and stuff, like those bad guy interactions.
Yeah.
So, are there any other tropes that we want to see? Dyson or any other vacuum type company, like they can have some droids around.
Yeah, they could be like the droids, or like every time someone's cleaning up his little area where he's like drilled into the ship, he kind of brings out his small version of it. That's totally gonna happen.
Love it.
And then like all those like packets of like the gel superfood stuff, that's easy for the ship, because it's like
Also, the little
them.
they don't even have to change it. The instant coffee maker thing, but it's a little ball.
Yeah.
That they don't even have to change it. Just put that out.
It fits perfectly. What other tropes or something do we want?
Okay, I kind of want like a comedic white truck of doom moment, but maybe it's like a white spaceship or something. I don't know, but like one of those scenes where like comedically like somebody evil gets like ejected out the airlock or something, but then like this white like spaceship like shoom, and like
it kind of reminds me of the like level of like Austin Powers when the guard is in front of the roller. They're like, just move. Like going like super slow.
Okay, I want a random side character, probably just like as a part of the crew, or maybe just at the bar.
A regular bar.
I want the most complex wrist grab because they have like 8 arms or whatever. And you can either like where somebody tries to grab a couple of their arms or whatever, and they're like not having it. They just like smack the person upside the head with one of their other free arms. I want something like that somewhere. Because wrist grabs suck.
Yeah. It would kind of be funny if like, from behind you don't expect that person to have like 8 arms, and like so then like the douchey guy comes up and tries to do something, and then like all the other arms come and like
and like beat him up. Like like that's the type of thing I want to see.
I would like a like in one of these bars there to be like an alien character who like has multiple heads, like that kind of an alien, but it's like one girl group, but it, like all the heads are like the girls from one girl group, like
can it be Dreamcatcher?
Of course, why not?
That could be like the entertainment too. Like,
yes. That
like how
in a slinky dress, the singer up on the stage, but she's got it's Dreamcatcher, but it's like one woman with all of Dreamcatcher.
Do you have to have like a random like sect of like kind of a religion, or just like kind of in Star Wars you have the people who like follow the Force?
Do you want us to have a cult trope in this as well?
Yes, but it doesn't have to be like super dark. But like the thing about cults is you can kind of have fun character stuff with it. So like you can kind of take those darker, the actors that do darker things, you can put them in stuff like that.
One of the aspects of the cult could be the tattooing and stuff, so that like her tattoo doesn't necessarily stand out, or her birthmarky tattoo or whatever doesn't really stand out because there's like this big tattoo cult thingy or something.
Well, and wouldn't they have to be the ones that have that prophecy, because the prophecy has to come from somewhere?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You know.
I feel like, you know, she'll have to be just like walking somewhere or just somewhere, and then someone who's part of this like cult is like, you know,
Yeah.
Oh no, I keep forgetting that we're like, that they don't see me.
Yeah.
And because I talk a lot with my body, and then I'm just like,
We
just
get
like,
it, but
yeah.
Would it be too on the nose if it's like a idol group stands or something like that? Like,
I'm not against it.
How would you do that, though?
I don't know.
It definitely has, even if it's not like too on the nose, that's the like deep implied thing about that aspect of the story. Like, thinly veiled that that's what they're like trying to get at with that. Like, oh, that's what they mean.
That, like, their religious writings and all of their like religious quotes and things are all like K-pop lyrics from now. It's like K-pop Twitter like existed in fragments, has survived in fragments hundreds of years in the future, and they've turned it into this like, you know, and like Bowie is the goddess.
The ancient words of scripture are spoken. Step on me, daddy.
But like we could also tie it in that like maybe the like signifier of their cult is like a K-pop group's logo, and it could be a fake K-pop group, but it's a logo that then like they found because they found a light stick or something. And then that like becomes their tattoo or like a ring or whatever, however it's signified on them.
All their relics are like K-pop merchandise parts.
Is there something that's like K-pop merchandise that could be tied to what is on the ship that everybody's trying to get?
Did you say it was living? That's what kind of makes
I know, but like I was thinking like, what if it's like a plant, and then like the plant is like, I'm just using this as a thing because I just know that there's the rose, and then it's a rose, and you know, that sort of thing, you know? Like, yeah. Or like the, you know, and Flying's little sprout cap. Oh, the turnip! The turnip! There's our plushie! That's the plushie angle, because you need a plushie angle.
Yes. So, living plushies are what that's what the cargo is. Like, they're weirdly cute. Mm-hmm. But like they are the harbinger of demise for some reason.
Sort of like tribbles.
Yeah.
They're cute, but
they contain something. So like it's not necessarily that it's them, it's like they contain a stone in their heart or something that like is what
the heart of stars or some bullshit.
Yeah. Or they're like mostly they're all regular plushies or android plushies or whatever they are, but like there's one in there that's like it's a living alien that's hid itself in the plushies or something, took the form of the plushies to hide itself or something.
Yeah.
And it's just trying to get home or whatever.
And that could be our kind of like our shapeshifter crossbender trope.
Yeah.
Like I am gonna say, I definitely want a lot of gender neutral clothing and
like take inspiration from like okay, I'm aware that what I'm about to say many Koreans would be upset with, but like sort of like Japanese like modern style, like where it's all just sort of like geometric and but like still inspired by like traditional like pattern choices and things.
Because the government uniforms and stuff, you know, just have all that sci-fi.
And I think it could be tied into like how fantastical like idol stages are, you know, in their costumes.
So the cult people, I'm just trying to think of how they look, because
maybe they're not the cult people, they're just like the people, like they signify the lower class.
Oh, yeah.
or like the people that don't have the money. So like they wouldn't have anything else besides this one thing to be stand out. Like maybe like it's kind of like more of like Hunger Games where you like definitely know who is part of the like the whatever it's called in Hunger Games, I don't remember. But like they always have like they have the most fantastical clothing and then everybody else is in drabby clothing or something like that. And I mean it could still be like that in our realm, it's still like fantastical, but it's more of like subdued colors or something. But like this like thing is a signifier of them.
Oh, and you definitely always kind of like you just said, you could pull in some of like hierarchy, politics of wealth. Yeah, the words of that.
Classism.
Like you always have to bring that in too.
Yeah.
So the struggle of the have and have-nots and the people that have too much and all those things, because that always crops up inside, all the space operas.
Do we have anybody else that we want? Like, even if they're just throwaway characters? Who do you want to see in this, Natalia, for your birthday? Even if they don't have a line. You can make someone walk across the room.
I can make someone just walk across the stage, huh? Ooh, you're giving me so much power. I'm gonna go with Woozy. I just want Woozy to be there. I just love him.
What is Woozy gonna be doing?
Woozy could be the town drunk.
Oh yes, Woozy can 100% be the angry town drunk.
Yeah.
And no one messes with him.
Yeah.
No one messes with him, but maybe he sees something too. That could be a little thing.
Yeah.
Or he could just
be like the disgruntled drunk member of her crew, sort of like to round out the found family, like a Jane sort of character, where he's just sort of like, and no one takes him seriously, but then when you go into his room, it's just weapons everywhere. Because he's so little, and so it's sort of like the butt of the jokes every time they're, anywhere, and then all of a sudden he's like just covered in knives.
Maybe he's the reason that they start to figure out this class that's the cult group, because he's the one who has the like kind of like the knowledge, because he sits around, he's the drunk, so people talk in front of him all the time. That's like the beauty of the town drunk. They get everything from everyone.
We also, there's usually a medic involved, a doctor or something. You have to have one of those on the ship. Somebody that can patch people together.
Well, Sty, your birthday's next week. Who do you want to be the medic?
Let me think. What, Jessie?
I was like, I want the medic to be very cliche, that like they're the most kind of like out there person, and then I thought of Fiore.
That'd be good.
Like the kind of like natural medicine person.
The hippie. I like it.
Yeah.
We've got a solid base for a show here, man.
Yeah, we don't even have like.
We don't have a plot.
Yeah, we have a long drama.
Yeah. Oh no, this could be like a long drama. Like we could like go crazy and like bring it back to like a 24 episode drama, or we could have like just like a part, kind of like how they're doing the Sci-Fi drama coming up, the S8 or whatever.
Kind of like a mini series, but
it'd be so cool if it's like a mini series like they used to do on like ABC and stuff, like the Merlin ones or the 10th Kingdom ones. Do you remember those? Those were great.
Yeah.
I like those.
The fact that this doesn't exist now, I'm really bummed.
we do this to ourselves every time. Every time we're like, I just really wish that this exists, and
we're gonna be, when we're old and like senile and we're doing this, because most podcasts last for 50 years, but we'll be doing like genre jar, and we'll be like, oh, my favorite is this one in that genre, and we'll be like, wait, that doesn't exist. That was one we made up.
Okay. But we all like remember it as something, and then we're like, oh wait, Because we're like, oh, who was in that movie? And we're like, and someone will be like, oh yes, Kim Soo-gi, and then we'll look and we'd be like, oh,
that was us.
Yeah.
Do we want to name it before we end? Do we want to name this? Because
okay,
space operas are fun to name. It doesn't have to be that hard.
Because you can give them like wild names.
Right. It could just be anything. It's super simple. It can be like one word.
I think it should be a space opera. Like
lesbians. A space opera. Lesbians in space. Like, I'm telling you, just name it Lesbians in Space, you got an audience right away.
Yeah, it makes it sound more pulpy than it is. It's not that pulpy.
I don't know.
You don't have to name it.
Yes. So we're now taking suggestions from listeners for what they think we should name our space opera. Hit us up on Twitter for your suggestions, and maybe if we get a couple good ones, we'll do a poll and name this space
opera.
Well,
that was really fun.
Yeah. We haven't done one of those in a while. So
I know, it's been a while since we, came up with the greatest show that never existed.
Yeah.
Anyway, now back to what we said we were going to do, which is we're going to talk about our favorite sci-fi fantasy shows. Yeah, so who wants to begin? Who wants to be the first person to say, this is what I recommend?
Claim yours before someone else takes it?
Pretty much. No one?
I mean, I can go, but do we want to go in age order or no? Just up in the air.
Or should Nat go first because it's her birthday, so that nobody will steal hers?
So, I'm actually, okay, so I have said several times on this show what my favorite K-drama of all time is, which is a sci-fi show, and that is, of course, Circle. However, since I talk about that show so much, I have decided to go with a completely different show, because I think I have mentioned Circle, like, every other episode.
And it's a bummer that it's not.
And you can't watch it anywhere. So
I'm surprised Netflix doesn't have it. That's like a perfect Netflix one.
Anyway. So I've decided to go in the complete opposite direction from Circle and to go with something just pulpy and ridiculous. Is it the best show ever made? No. But did I enjoy the hell out of watching it? Yes. And that would be the Chinese gay but not gay drama Guardian, which is, do you like bad CGI? Do you like obvious sexual tension pretending not to be sexual tension? Do you like a story that was originally about demons, but they turned them into aliens because China you weren't allowed to do demons anymore? Boy, I got a show for you. It's a beautiful fantasy drama called Guardian. You can watch it on YouTube, and I think Viki, maybe?
Yes,
At one point
so.
you could.
I think so.
Which follows these two characters. Now it's going to go into Natalia explains a show badly and makes no one want to watch it. One is like, he's the head of this special investigation unit, which investigates like crimes done by aliens who have like escaped from the underworld because they all live in hell because they were originally not aliens, but
you know those hell aliens.
Those hell aliens,
Yeah.
yes, those hell aliens, who like come up and they have like magic powers and like cause chaos and shit. And so then there's also this uptight professor who gets roped into his investigation in the first episode, but the professor has a secret identity because he might be one of those aliens, but has also been alive for over 10,000 years and was in love with the cop in his previous life 10,000 years ago. And then, so he remembers their friendship.
She's air quoting.
Friendship from 10,000 years ago. And then is now like, oh shit, he's back. I waited 10,000 years for my good buddy.
Air quotes.
Air quotes, to return. And then there's like a zombie guy who's like not a zombie and he can control like a magical puppet. And like there's a ghost girl, there's a girl who's half snake. And then there's the just regular human guy whose uncle is high up in the government, so he gets like nepotistically placed as just like an employee in this department, but he's scared of everything and like is really bad at his job, but they can't get rid of him because his uncle's like high up in the government. So he's there, everyone's having a good time, not really, going around fighting demons and aliens, I mean, not demons. And it is so dumb and it is so fun. And while it may not have the quality of Circle, but really, what does? But it does have just this beautiful element of fun. And also, like, the professor dude wears these arm suspender things that, like, I thought was just made up for the show, but turns out were a real thing in, like, the 20s. I don't know why he's still wearing them in this clearly modern tale.
There's also hot. That's
why. It's really hot. It's like you wouldn't think like arm suspenders would be like something that you're like, ooh, but like you're like, work them arm belts. Like, what is you doing? Like, and then and there's also a cat that turns into a human. I have read the book. It is based on a very gay novel, of course. Of course it is. It's me. Where the cat does not just can talk and stays a cat the whole time. But I don't think they had the budget to animate a cat for more than a few seconds at a time, so the cat turns into, like, a cute kid with overalls. But anyway, it's like a silly, fun show that very barely hides the fact that it is based on incredibly gay source material, sort of like The Untamed in that sense, where it's like, yeah, they're just good friends, good platonic soulmates whose bond of friendship lasted over death. Just, But it's a really good show. It's very cheesy, very over the top. It's very enjoyable. And you can watch it on YouTube for free. So, what's not to love? Anyway, that was it's more a fantasy than it is a sci-fi. But they're aliens now, so I guess it's also a sci-fi.
all the Chinese aliens.
Yeah, all those aliens.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that.
So this is a show that I don't think enough people have watched, and it's sad that I keep forgetting it exists for some reason, despite the fact that it is one of my absolute favorite dramas. My Hollow Love is so good.
Yay!
It's short. It's on Netflix. And even if you're maybe not usually down for sci-fi, it is still very accessible to, like, everybody. And it's not even the typical robot thing. It's a hologram, so that's, like, a different take than typically. And they do really, really well with that. The CGI is always very well done. The acting is flawless. Like, I can't recommend it highly. I'm sure there are people out there that maybe don't like it. But, like, I really, really enjoy, and I recommend, if you haven't checked it out, check it out, because it's an easy binge. It is so easy to binge. Yeah. And the way the characters all interact, like, there's a lot of depth to it that you don't even expect, and it's marvelous. And I also love dual roles, and the main actor has a dual role, and he does really well with the two different characters, and even the way his two characters interact is really charming. So yeah, I really and sci-fi, so that's the sci-fi side. And I know that I'm usually the Are You Human 2 proponent of things, and I like robot shows in general, but My Hollow Love, like, it has a lot of heart to it, too. Like, the whole thing. And even though there is romance, it just feels like kind of finding yourself more than just the romance side of things. So, I don't know. I think a lot of people would enjoy it if they just gave it a chance. So check out My Hollow Love. It's charming. It's well done. They have really cute behind the scenes stuff on the Swoon YouTube channel. They even have like a look. It's kind of like a mini documentary. They do some of the behind the scenes stuff and they show some of the scenes, like kind of outtakes and whatever. It's pretty cute. So yeah, My Hollow Love.
I agree. I really, really liked it. And I want to like add, because I think this show does a lot with tropes. Like it has every trope under the sun, and it does it in a way that like totally integrates with the storyline, and it's kind of one of those like really great like what you would assume a classic K-drama would be for 2020 or
right.
Yeah.
Like it feels like something we could have written.
Ooh,
Oh,
high praise.
That's a bold
Yeah.
claim.
I think we're really good.
Because of the use of the tropes. It has everything, and it never feels shoehorned. It's always like it's a natural thing, and it's totally fine that the trope is there. Like, and that's kind of the way, you know, the classic K-drama, like, oh, this is the way a modern classic K-drama would function. Pretty much it is, but it's very, very, very enjoyable with all those tropes in it, and you're kind of like, they all worked. I'm happy. Like, it's good. So who's next?
I don't know. We're not in any age order now.
Chaos! We've gone to chaos!
Did you want to go next, Amanda, and really throw things off?
Yeah, sure. I don't know. I think I'll go with I too was considering Circle because I mean I love Circle.
So good. So good.
I always had hoped to rewatch Circle, and I wanted to, like, the way Circle's done, it's in 2 half hours essentially. Like one is the modern time and one's the future. And I always thought it would be cool to watch like all the first halves and then watch all the second halves and like see the story more solidly. But I never got that chance because, you know, drama fever.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, for similar reasons, because what are you going to do? You can't watch it anyway, so recommending it to you seems like a jerk move. I'm going to go with the opposite end of it. That was sci-fi. I'll go with fantasy, and I'll recommend Arthdal Chronicles because the world building there is amazing. It's like just absolutely outstanding. The characters are great. There's so much variety and depth to the story and depth to the characters and the costuming and the just everything. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it. Yeah, there's just so much to it. And when you sort of, every time you think that like, okay, this is a good, big, solid, complete, detailed world that they've created, and then they throw something else into it, like, you know, people who can basically breathe underwater or something. Like, and you're like, there's only 3 episodes left. You didn't have to go that hard. Like, what do you think? But it's there. And, like, there's so much going on in it that you could literally use this world and have, like, books and movies and dramas for, like, decades coming out of this and never tell the same story twice. Like, you could be talking about this random tribe that only shows up for 3 episodes over here and probably make an entire series out of that. And then you could do something over here and you could tell the past story and you could tell the future. And like, there's just so much that you could do with this world because it's so, like, the writers just really went hard. They did not skim. They did not cut any corners. It's, if you like fantasy type stuff, if you're a big reader, if you love reading that type of, you know, fantasy novel, I think you'd really enjoy this. I definitely did.
It makes you
just asking when more was coming. So
it makes you wish that it was a book series.
Yeah. And it definitely has that feeling of like some fantasy novels that I've read where, it's a series of like 3 or 6 books or whatever, and then there's another series of 6 books, but it takes place in that same world, but like none of the same characters and a completely different thing going on, but it's still because the world is big enough, because the author had a big enough imagination that they thought it all through and they created a complete world. And I feel like that with Arthdale. You don't see that very often. Like, it's usually very sort of more of an AU kind of a situation when you get into fantasy or sci-fi. It's like, it's our world, but different. And this is just flat out a different world. Like, everything is different. And that level of detail impresses me. And the acting was good and the story was interesting. So no complaints for me.
Yeah. I will say that I, like, recently, within the past, like, maybe 2 days, I saw an article, it is delayed, the filming, because of COVID. But
no shock.
It was definitely a COVID like relation, not just like a funding or anything like that. So
cool.
It's gonna happen.
Because literally, like, tonight in the car, my son says to me, "So, like, Arthdale, is that happening? Is there more coming?" I was like, "I think, like, it's supposed to be, like, next summer or something." He's like, "All right, fine."
Whenever things get better someday, everyone is going to be so busy.
Yeah, we're just going to do everything. Like,
and then,
I never
can you
would have gone
imagine
out.
the surge of, like, movies and dramas and everything that's going to happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a lot someday. There's going to be a lot of stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
Jesse's turn.
All right, Jessie.
Mine. It's labeled as fantasy in my drama list. But I will say that the reason I like this drama is because of its supernatural element. And it is
fine.
Also currently I have 3 shows that are in my top spots, and this claims one of them, and that is Hotel de Luna.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen Hotel de Luna, it's about character played by IU, which is how we got into IU. I'm not gonna lie, that I had already like planned Hotel de Luna as my favorite and the one I wanted to talk about. Anyways, she in the past did some very wrong things, and as penance for all of her sins, she has to run this inn, which is a inn for like ghosts that are like passing over. It's kind of their like last stop before they're taken on to the next other world or whatever it is. And at this hotel, it's run like an actual hotel, and in the realm of this is that all the ghosts that come in, they get to kind of like fulfill their last wishes or like their last like hurrah before they go. So it's like, it can be something like an actual wish, or like it could be just that they get to finally write the end of their script, or that sort of thing. It's got a really great found family cast. It is character driven, which is a big thing for me. There is like an overall storyline. If you watched Mystic Pop-Up Bar, you would really like it. I think it's better than Mystic Pop-Up Bar, so you get to watch Hotel de Luna.
I think it is as well,
but that
Hotel de Luna is a step darker.
It is darker.
Yeah.
It integrates a lot more into the story, and there's also more backstory with a bunch of different characters. Like, so the characters that are coming to the hotel have backstories, and like, so like every episode kind of is like a different ghost or whatever. But then also the ghosts that are specific, who hold specific jobs at the hotel, have backstories too, and not all of it actually like ties in, which I think is really cool. But they are given like full backstories, and I really like that. I'm very big on character-driven stuff, and like that's why I like found families, because it tends to be more about that and kind of a rotational cast. I also really enjoyed the stories, the little stories of like the ghosts that were coming into the hotel. And then like it has like a kind of like a fun aspect in that Yojin Gu, is that his name?
Yeah.
He comes in and he has to work the hotel because they've like actually established that like you can't run a hotel just by ghosts alone. Like you need a human to like take care of things like, you know, city permits and taxes and stuff. And so he's introduced into the story, and like I just love the way that like he has to interact with the ghosts and like interact with this crazy world. And it's got a lot of like heart, and it does have a lot of like darkness to it, so I really like that. And it's like got a focus on the supernatural. I find that its humor is still grounded in darkness, and almost like if it's not grounded in darkness, it's grounded in endearment, as opposed to just straight up comedy. I mean, there's like times when it is that, but it's not as much as you normally see, and that's the kind of humor that I like. But yeah, I just really love everyone, and IU is absolutely
fantastic,
phenomenal in this role. It's like her role. Like I can't see anyone else doing that role as well. Even if you don't like the story, I think watching her act in it is a really great thing to do. It's just watching her be good and to see how she's grown and like take on a character that she's good at.
Seeing her in the first episode or two, even just that would be a good thing for people to check out.
I mean, like she's right off the bat like at the level, and she's like taken this character, and it's her character. So I really liked seeing that as well, kind of as a standpoint of someone acting wise and seeing that type of thing. So yeah, it's really good. It's on Viki.
Yep.
I feel like in some countries it's on Netflix now.
Yeah, I feel like I heard that.
I think also like Swoon keeps on talking about it too. So I feel like if Swoon talks about it somehow on Netflix. Yeah.
I think right now for us it's not yet.
No, I don't
think for other people.
But it's completely done. It came out like last summer, so you don't have to do what we all had to and wait for Viki to some things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do love the supernatural thing because that's like really my thing. It does have a lot of fantasy to it, and it's a good storyline, and I really enjoyed every episode of it like immensely. Like there was not a time that I wasn't like, oh my gosh, I need to watch this show as soon as it comes out. And then, you know, Viki didn't allow that to happen, but whatever. It's cool. It's fine, Viki. Whatever.
Whatever. It's fine.
Whatever.
It's fine.
It's cool. It's fine. It's cool. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
But yeah, sci-fi is usually one of my favorite drama genres. I usually just really enjoy a good sci-fi story. Since there aren't that many.
Yeah.
Even if
drama land, yeah.
Even if they're pretty flawed and stuff, I'm always intrigued by their take on sci-fi stories, because it's usually not like, oh, it's just like the sci-fi book I picked up. No, it's usually kind of a different take. So yeah, I usually enjoy it.
Well, this has been our episode on sci-fi fantasy and the genre genre. The genre genre. I feel like every time I say genre genre, like my French really just pops out to be like genre genre. Anyway, thank you for listening to us. You can listen to us wherever podcasts are found. If you're curious as to where that is, that would be Spotify, Apple iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, Stitcher, YouTube, and of course all of our episodes with all the show notes and all of the links to everything that we talk about is on our website at certifiednunas.com. If you want to become a sponsor of this podcast and help us keep going, you can go to ko-fi.com/certifiednunas and become an official behind-the-scenes member of this little ragtag crew, where we put up little extras, the things that get cut out of the episodes, and all sorts of fun stuff over there for all of our coffee supporters, whom we love with all of our hearts. Anyway, you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, which is always at Certified Nunas. That's our handle, and that's where to find us. And we love to hear from all the people who like listening to us. So anyway, we hope you have a fantastic week and enjoy this summer weather. All right, have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.